I'm Christina with Little Sprouts Learning, and I have a lot of garden produce that needs to be put up, and so I am working on preserving it for later. I don't can, so I have dehydration, fermenting or pickling, and freezing. And we have a lot of paste tomatoes coming on right now, so I like to put those up in the freezer and then take them out and make a lot of tomato sauce all at once when the season is over or when I have too many in the freezer. So I'm just going to show you how I prep those and work this garden produce down. I have children pick with me, ages 1 to 4. So there are varying degrees of skill. So that's why you'll see a lot of green tomatoes there. The kids are new, have a new set of kids just coming in and they're learning. And so it's sometimes a frustrating lesson, but they're getting there. And I wanted to be outside because it's like really nice out and it's been so hot. So I just couldn't stand to use my Saturday morning to be inside doing this, so I brought it out, and I hope the flies don't get too bad and I have to go in, but I'm going to try to work fast. First thing I have to do is sort out all the tomatoes that I have and see what's ready to process and what's not. So these are all varying degrees of ripe. I can't leave them on the vine until they look like this because the squirrels and the bugs would just annihilate them. So I'm going to try to put all the really green ones that my sweet friends picked down in the bottom of this bowl. So a few days later, the more ripe ones will be on the top. We had a real issue this week, but we have brand new babies, so it'll be all right. They'll learn, and hopefully, that was a really yucky one. Hopefully, we can salvage some of this. To put up for our food stores later. So I have it sorted out, and we're having a lot of bug damage and a lot of everything damage, so very frustrating that you lose a lot of your produce, and I try to save as much of it as I can. So like this one isn't quite ready, but I'll just take the tomatoes and I cut them in half like that. That one really wasn't ready. This one has got a lot of bug holes in it. I'm going to throw that. But this one just has the one bad spot, so I'm going to just cut that off. Make sure that it didn't come past this point. And the rest of them should be redder than that, for sure. So this is like some sun scorch, and it shouldn't hurt anything in my tomato sauce. This guy's bad on the end, but it's good with the rest, so I can save that. And it has a bad spot here. When I roast them in the oven, I like to have them cut in half, so this one has a bug hole and a lot of bad spots. I'll just let that one go to the bone pile. And I don't mind, like I said, the sun scorch. That's just damage from the sun being so intense. And this one has a big bad spot, so I'm going to try to get rid of it. I could wait for them to ripen up a little more, but I also would lose a lot more of them. Those bad spots do spread. But I love trying to use as much of the produce as I can and not lose it. We went to the trouble of growing it. It was hard work, so we spent money. I like to try to not waste. Now, once I get all of these sliced, so there's a bag full, and I just set them in here. I put them right in the freezer like this, and a couple weeks later I'll take a whole bunch of them out and put them on cookie sheets, sheet trays with garlic, onion, salt and pepper, and usually some herbs that would go into spaghetti sauce, or pizza sauce is what I usually make. I make the kids pizza sauce for their pizzas that I make them, and spaghetti sauce out of my tomato sauce. So I'll usually put some Italian seasoning in there, or maybe just a little bit of thyme, and then roast it up in the oven. The recipe is on the blog. Ooh, I wonder how far that goes. At littlesproutslearning.co, you can go over there and get the oven roasted tomato sauce recipe. Ooh, that one's about to blow. And my friend Candy was making it one time, and I asked her to teach me how to do it, and she gave me the instructions online. We don't live in the same town, but I've been making it ever since, and it is, yeah, it's not good. Like, you'll never want a canned tomato sauce of any kind ever again for the rest of your life. It's magnificent. So let's go over there and get the recipe and make your own. And it's a great way to use up all your paste tomatoes. Once I get them the bag full, I like to press out as much air as possible and then put them straight into the freezer. And then I don't keep them like that for very long. Like a month at the longest, maybe just 2 or 3 weeks, until I have the proper amount of tomatoes to make a big batch. And then I'll just roast and roast and roast all day. I toss it into the blender. You can use a food processor. I also use a food mill sometimes, but usually I do the blender, and then put it in quart-sized containers and freeze it up. And then I have tomato sauce for most of the year. Just ran out from last year, so good time to be getting some more. What I do with the cherry tomatoes, my favorite thing to do with them is to dehydrate them. They are like a little tomato raisin, and they're just magnificent, like on top of salads or different things. But I'm going to use these to do tomato sauce also for today. This crack that you see here is from uneven watering, so like if it's really drought and then you get a big rain, you'll get a crack like that. It doesn't do anything to the flavor or the tomato itself. Sometimes you'll get them and the tomato will spoil, but if the tomato is not mushy and gross right there, then it's perfectly fine. Like this one is mushy, so you wouldn't want that one. But I'll take the ones that are the ripest. Again, we can't leave them out until they're all the way ripe because of the pests that we have. So we just get what we can get and then let them ripen on the counter. So I'll move these over. And then just separate them out. Those have a better chance to get riper and better, more flavorful. You hear my doves cooing. We have a pair of mourning doves that lives here. Oh, they're so sweet to listen to all the time. A lot of things, but they are really flavorful for your sauces. I love to use them in sauce because they taste and really give it a flavor punch. I also love to make a caprese salad, and I'll slice them in half and then put those little balls of fresh mozzarella, and then I like cucumbers in it, but it doesn't have to have, and then fresh basil from the garden and some balsamic vinegar. Ooh, that's some good stuff right there. Delicious. That looks like about the ripest ones. This one right here has all these marks, and that's like probably damage inside. So even though it's not squishy, I just throw that one out. And then just like with the others, just seal it up and go on with your life. Put it in the freezer.